Happy New Year and welcome to BumbleKast Live. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co host, Kyle, JCRB Kraus.
Ian, don't scare me like that. It's not the new year yet.
Well, if you're listening to the rerun of this, it will be the new year, and we're close enough to the new year that I'm going to wish it to the people now because I'm not going to be able to do it later. So happy freaking New Year!
No, I refuse. I will not have a happy new year. Thank you.
Fine, have a mediocre New Year. Have a terrible New Year. See what I care.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad.
Anyway, you guys should know the drill by now, but just in case you're new, we're going to answer as many questions as we can here in the next 2 hour period. Please put them in the chat over there. We will do one per person until we get through everybody, which will never happen. We'll get through as many standard questions as we can. If you buy a super chat, you are most likely going to get answered tonight. Maybe we will try. It will also be, first come, first serve. If you buy one super chat, that will be answered. If you buy a second super chat, that's going to be put lower on the queue so we can get as many people's first time questions as we can. Any super chats we don't answer tonight will be rolled over into the next nearest recording session that we can get to. And boy, howdy, we have so much recording we need to do. Anything else? Have I forgotten anything? Any other
No,
rules,
no,
stipulations?
no. But holy cow, it's busy. Everything is going, Ian. So let's not waste any time.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right, let's get into it right here on the BumbleKast. We're just gonna start off. Red Reaper, you are the winner. You came in first. You started. Now that Dream Team is out and the spoiler period is mostly over, can you delve into the relation of REM, the Reverie, Illumina, or Imaginary World, or cyberspace, which contains dreams?
No, because that would all be stuff that could potentially be explored in future games or media or whatever. There are certainly breadcrumbs there. I would like to follow them. I would like to make connections, but as for anything concrete, can't really say that here because that would be potentially either spoilerific or completely outdated when another project comes along and proves me completely wrong.
But Ian, you're never wrong. Nope. Nope. Not gonna
I
fall
guess in
for
the same way that a broken clock is right twice a day,
it.
unless it's digital.
All right, let's get into this one here from Happy Times. In Archie, there was a story where an electric shock caused Nicole and Sally to swap bodies. Similar idea, but it's Surge and Sage swapping when Surge tries frying Eggman's computer. How's it go? I don't remember this happening. When did it happen?
It was a backup story. It was very brief,
Okay.
and it basically served as the impetus for Nicole to generate her own hollow body down the line. The initial story is completely forgettable. It's Nicole
Okay.
gets in Sally's body and sees Sonic and goes, "Hacha mama," and then faints, and then Sally comes back. It's
Okay, that would explain why I don't remember it.
yeah. Anyway,
Because it's dumb. Got it.
Surge is now a digital entity within the Eggnet. Oh Lord. I mean, Eggman can't get anywhere in his own base. Doors are opening and closing on him. The elevator is dropping him 20 feet and then shooting straight back up. The coffee maker's actively shooting at him. She's launching all the missiles at everyone at all times. It's a bad time.
How long does it take for him to die? Or does she just literally like try and torture him forever?
I think she's having too much fun, which is his only saving grace.
Yeah, I guess so. Ouch. Ouch. Here's one from Metal Skulkbane. Amazing fan film Project Shadow just came out. I know you won't watch it, for shame, but it got me thinking, why do you think Gunn attacked their own facility? Isn't Shadow what they ordered?
We don't know all the details because the best records we have are like the spotty leftovers of Gerald's mad ramblings. But suffice to say, whatever Gunn thought was up there, they didn't like it. So they figured, clean slate, hide it all.
Time to kill it.
It's also kind of hard to say because we don't know what the upper brass was like 50 years ago. The only insight we have into gun management is the, you know, guy with heterochromia, and his major beef was he was traumatized by Shadow being spooky looking, but he was like a babby when the Ark incident went down. He clearly doesn't have any insight into how gun was operated back then. So we don't really have a lot of insight into that.
Mm-hmm.
And it could just be that they gave Gerald a blank check and said, "Hey, build the Ark and also, do the taboo thing and unlock immortality." And he's like, "Also, giant space laser in the nose." They're like, you know what? We might need to pull the plug on this. Did you know I actually worked with the evil man-eating space aliens? Yep, yep. Let God throw them out.
Yep. Also, we need to go back real quick and address the Sage. How would Sage react to being in Surge's body?
Incredibly frustrated because now she has to worry about gravity
Yeah, that is a big
and
problem.
ligaments.
And, and
Like she's probably just kind of rolling across the floor trying to figure out how to stand up because she was not coded for that.
guts full of meat. Gross. All right. Well, we are well over 50 questions on the standard question. So thank you, everybody, for asking. But we are literally 8 minutes in, and you guys have already blown through way more standard questions than we can get to. So thank you, everybody.
Set a new record.
We might be pretty close. Might be pretty close. We're still accepting super chats, though. So your money's still good here. But yeah, there's a lot of questions. So we'll do our best and we'll come back. We'll get through as many as we can. So we're gonna keep going right now. Actually, this one's from Teleporting Lobo. It's the common joke, but given that they're both staying at the restoration for diamond cutter work, are Tangle and Whisper actually roommates? Who forgets to do the dishes? Who snores loudly?
Uh I know it's the joke, but I don't really want to confirm because I don't know if we're actually going to see that. I mean, I know generally what Evan has planned, but I don't know like
it's
specifically beat for beat. So for all I know,
it's not a
she'll have a scene of them, going to their apartment. I don't know.
it's not a joke, Ian. It's not a joke. This is serious business.
I think I'm going to defy convention here and say it's Whisper who forgets to do the dishes and it's Tangle who's always on top of it. Because for all of her uh, spottiness, she's actually rather meticulous. She likes to have things clean. She likes to have things neat and orderly so that she doesn't have to think about it. She just get up and go. If the dishes are washed and cleaned, then she doesn't have to worry about it later. She could just go on and do other fun things.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Whisper's like, that wasn't my job. That was delegated to somebody else. I don't even know how to clean dishes.
Yeah.
Also, the idea of, Tangle just kind of whistling happily to herself as she scrubs the plate with the end of her tail is kind of adorable.
Yeah, that is good. That is good. Who snores loudly? Well, Tangle, obviously.
Yeah.
Whisper has trained herself to sleep silently because sometimes she has to sleep silently in order to be on a mission. So, see, I'm smart. I know things, Ian. I can answer questions sometimes. Here's one from Chaos Wind. Sage, wanting to learn more about family, makes a simulation that resembles a family sitcom featuring herself, Metal Sonic, Eggman, and somehow Belle. How many seasons does this show last?
This is a terrible idea, so at least 8.
That's more than WandaVision.
Do I get to be the Costanza or do I get to be the Kramer in this scenario?
What, you yourself?
Well, I'm in the mix, aren't I?
It said no. It didn't say yourself. It's herself. Sage, Metal Sonic, Eggman, and somehow Belle.
Oh, I thought you said yourself. I heard wrong.
No,
I heard wrong.
herself. Although it would be funny if you're somehow there for some reason. That makes it even better. You want to be part of the family, Ian, or you just want to be the weird neighbor?
I'll be the weird neighbor.
You're the
Show up for 5 minutes, cash my check, walk back out. Say my non sequitur catchphrase.
You're the Urkel of this family sitcom. And all of a sudden you become the most popular part of the show. Amazing. All right, here's one from Mainframe0643. Ian and Kyle, have both of you played any of the Yokai Watch games? If not, then I would recommend playing them. They're fun.
I have not.
I have heard of them. That's about all I can say. What is it like? Yokai, that's a ghost, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's like ghost
From my
hunting.
understanding, they marketed it as a Pokemon thing, but apparently it's not really like Pokemon when you get down to it.
Yeah.
I think there's some kind of monster collection element to it, but I think from my understanding, they marketed it as, the next big Pokemon type game, and that's not what it is. So it was kind of dead on arrival. I'm not sure, honestly. Again, I've not seen or watched or really engaged in it.
All right. Let's switch over to some super chats. And this one, hey, this isn't a super chat. What the heck? I guess this question is from Rye. And it's not even for Rye. They're asking for their poor Sonic addled friend and fellow mod Kazzy. What? Oh, fine. Son Amy plush, canon, Y or N. Also rate cuteness out of 10. Yes, and 11 being the only obvious answer. Totally married.
That poor person had a seizure while typing.
I mean, it's Kazzy talking about Son Amy. What do you want?
Oh, right. Too much dopamine. Couldn't actually form
could not form sentence.
sentences. Yeah.
Could not form sentence.
I don't know. It's as canon as the Snoopy and Woodstock plushies.
Sure, yeah. Love you, Kaz. Here's one from Hero Squad. Steamboat Willie has finally entered the public domain, meaning they're not in control of their Willie anymore. We have it in our hands. How would you tackle it in your style as well as Sonic?
Welcome to Double Entendre Theater.
Hero Squad, put your Willie away, please.
I don't know, honestly. I am really intrigued to see what will happen because people will seize upon it and see just how far they can go. It will be very interesting to see what Disney does in response, or if they've already kind of battened down the hatches and are letting Steamboat Willie sail off into that glorious sunset. But trying to think what all was in Steamboat Willie that technically falls under the public domain now, because there's some version of Pete, and it's not technically Mickey himself, I think. But I don't know, good-natured steamboat captain going on river adventures, running into all sorts of adversity. The town that needs a hero, and he just happens to sail into port when time comes around. Or, whoops, there were rapids ahead. Who saw that coming? And there's a waterfall. Can the paddle boat paddle backwards fast enough to get away? No, of course not. So he just has to make it paddle faster so it flies over to the next region. Have some pumpkin. Be goofy. I mean, Mickey. I mean, Willie.
Is Oswald's public domain?
I don't
know. I'm being told yes, but I don't know. And also Felix the cat, I don't know.
Felix, I think Felix himself is, but there's a lot of stuff that he's known for
that
is not.
Yeah.
Because it came after.
Yeah.
Oswald, I would think, would be old enough, but Disney actually like traded a live human being to get him back. So I don't know if they've got him locked down through some kind of loophole. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. That's hmm. Hmm. Would be weird. I guess we'll see, won't we? Here's one from Twilord. How do you feel Harold ranks compared to your pre-official creator fan characters?
He's certainly the most current.
He certainly is one. He is a character. Here's one from Chocolate Watermelon 28. The Guardians meet movie Knuckles. How does it go? Like which Guardians? The Guardians of the multiverse, the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Guardians of I don't know,
I'm
something.
assuming he means the secret cabal of voyeuristic grandpas,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
or the Brotherhood, if you want to be
Oh, is that
brief.
what they're talking about? I thought they meant the Guardians of the Galaxy. For real? Are you sure? I don't know.
Well, they're specifically referencing movie Knuckles, so I
It,
think that's the distinction.
I guess so.
Uh like, would any of them really care? It's not their golden boy.
No. Would they be confused? Like why does this creature look like our guy but isn't?
I mean, they have some experience with other dimensions. You would think at least one of them would have some concept of the multiverse and think, "Oh, there's another Knuckles. Tell us, boy, where are the others like us?" There aren't any.
Mhm.
Mm, mm.
Mm.
I don't know if movie Knuckles would have the patience for them, or would his longing to be back with others like him win out? I don't I don't know. Locke would probably be losing it because where's his, baby boy? What happened to the, child he invested so much in? Who is this different one? Where is the original? Bring him back. And the rest of the Brotherhood kind of seemed to be of the general opinion of Locke. Chill. So they're probably trying to rein him in a little bit.
Mhm. Mhm. All right, let's move on to this next one here from Tristan. What if Team Hooligan and the Babylon Rogues met?
Squabbling, fighting, delightful chicanery. They've got to be after the same prize,
Yeah.
so they're going to tussle over it, and it will be fantastic. You have the battle of egos that is Fang and Jet. You have the battle of Brawn that is Bark and Storm, and that leaves poor Wave to babysit Bean. She's got the worst off.
And here's a question from Buttered Noodles. Oh, I'm being told this one we need to save to the end.
Yeah.
Hmm. You know the song Fish Eye Lens? Ian from Homestar Runner, Strong Bad? You
Oh
remember it off the top of
shoot.
your head? I can't.
Vaguely. That's not one of the normal
No,
ones.
it's not. We may have to
I'll try to look it up later.
we may have to drop that one into one of the into a upcoming episode, Butter Noodles, so we can prep for it. Here's one from Mighty Ray. Your thoughts on hognose snakes?
They're neat.
They're snakes, and they have noses of hogs, I assume.
Yeah, it's a very pronounced proboscis for a snake.
Yep.
Um, I feel like there was something particularly interesting about that too, and now I can't remember off the top of my head. And nobody wants to sit there and listen to me, look at a Wikipedia entry and go, yes, hmm.
Hmm.
So,
They dig with their noses.
is
Cool.
that what it is?
They
Okay.
have shovels. They have a shovel face.
See, I told you there was something kind of neat about it. There you go.
They're cool. Now put one in Sonic, Ian. Here's one from the Drippy Simp. Wait a minute, hold on. The Drippy Simp. Does that just means you're a simp who's wet, or are you a simp of Kit?
You dress cool, man.
Or that. Or maybe they're a stylish simp. Whatever, I don't know. I'm not here to judge. I'm just wondering. What is Metal Sonic's idea of being the one true Sonic? How does Metal even rationalize his objective? Sonic is a free-spirited hero who loves adventure, the exact opposite of Metal.
Yeah, that's something we've tackled in the past on the show, and I don't have like the answer, but something that I've kind of speculated on is that he wants to supplant Sonic and just be the one true Sonic. If there is no more baseline Sonic, then he will become what is Sonic. Sonic is an ideal more than an individual. At least that's how I kind of rationalize it.
Yeah. Here's a question from Morless. Ian, if Tangle and Jewel went to the candy shop and saw Rough and Tumble sticking their heads under the candy dispensers, would they stop them or join in?
Oh, Tangle would join. Or try to join until Jewel's like, no.
No, that's bad. Don't
They're
do
doing
that.
it, and it's bad. Don't do it. We need to stop them. So then we can do it because they're gone. No, focus. Okay.
You can do it after you pay. Because money now exists in Sonic's world.
Wait. So I can pay and then put my face under the candy chute. And Rough and Tumble like, yeah, you can totally do it. That's why we're here. Wait, you actually bought your way into this? Mm-hmm. We had to rob like 3 stores on the way, but yeah, it's good.
Okay. They stole the money that they used to pay in the candy store.
Makes perfect sense.
They would do that, wouldn't they? All right, here's one from JCR1216. Can Silver sing me happy birthday?
Sure, why not? Silver, get in here, buddy.
Ahem.
Someone had to teach him this song. They don't have happy birthdays in the dystopian future.
Does he even know when his birthday is?
God, probably not. All right, getting the voice, getting the character. There we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, JCR. Happy birthday to you. Did I do it right? Is that the right song? You did good, buddy.
That's it. Yep. Good job, Silver. We'll see you in a little while for the Silver guest episode. Here's one from Supersonic Fan. What if Sonic Man met Mark the Tapir? Oh boy.
I would fear for Sonic Man.
It's fanboy v fanboy.
The thing is, Sonic Man doesn't seem like the sharpest knife in the drawer.
I mean, neither does Mark.
No, but Mark at least is maliciously proficient.
I guess that's
Sonic
true.
Man would go, oh, a fellow Sonic enthusiast. Let's talk about Sonic. And Mark's like, yes, let's do it in my basement.
No.
And now we wonder where Sonic Man is.
No. No. Then again, I guess it keeps him away. It would keep Mark busy, and that's really what Mark needs, is something to keep him busy and away from anybody else. So, thank you for your service, Sonic Man.
Rest in peace.
All right, let's switch back to some regular standard chat questions. This one's from Super Sharkbait. Vector, Jet, Clutch, and Rouge all participate in a Mr. Beast-esque challenge where they must eat 20 ghost peppers while being pepper sprayed for $100,000. Fastest wins. So what happens?
Clutch is not going to lower himself to such standards. He abstains.
I figured Clutch is like the one doing the challenge.
Yeah, probably. Rouge, likewise, isn't going to subject herself to this. She can $100,000. Are you kidding?
She's just gonna take
She
the
can
100.
rob that in an hour.
She's just
That's
gonna
like
take
a
the
slow
100.
weekend.
Yeah, she's just gonna take the $100,000. She doesn't need to do anything to get it. It's just hers.
Who else is there? Vector and who else?
Vector, Jet, and that's it. Vector and Jet.
Okay. They're gonna try though.
Yes, of
because
course.
Jet's not gonna back down from a challenge, and Vector needs the money.
And Vector is desperate.
I figure Vector's gonna win it though because the man can actually shoot fire out of his mouth. I figure he can handle the hot peppers.
Yeah, he'll be fine. While being pepper sprayed, though, can his eyes handle pepper?
I mean, they're both suffering, but I think he wins just by the fact that he can take fistfuls and shove them in his maw faster than Jet can like peck through his bowl's worth.
Yeah. Ah, well.
Jet's all indignant because he lost, and Vector's like, the trick is you don't chew.
No, just swallow. Yes. All right. And here's one from Ethan T. According to certain power scaling websites, Cream is somehow solar system level during Adventure Era and universe level post Shadow 2005. How OP is the average badnik by such wonky logic? Oh, power scaling never change. Except please do.
They're as
Jesus.
powerful as you want them to be.
Why do I absolutely believe that this is true? Oh, man. Someone has figured this out, but they really went off the deep end. Ay. Here's one from Vixers. Oh no, Amy's secret book she's been working on, 50 Types of Hedgehogs, has been published. What chaos ensues, and how do the 3 other hedgehogs and everyone else react?
Well, Sonic's bemused.
What are the 50 types of hedgehogs?
He's one of them for sure.
I guess.
And he can tell which one is supposed to be him, and that's flattering.
I'm
Also
surprised
amusing.
because I'm surprised he can tell because Amy has a real problem telling him apart from any of the others.
He can read between the lines.
Okay.
And he's definitely going to tease her about it for a while, but all in good fun. Shadow doesn't care.
No.
People can think whatever they want about him. He is his own hedgehog. He defines his own self.
Shadow can't read. What does he care?
Oh, he read it. He's just not going to admit it to anybody. Silver is just like scandalized. He didn't even know you could do that with a hammer.
What?
We know what the parallels are to this, Kyle. Don't play innocent here.
I'm you know more about this than I do.
And this is a family show, so we'll leave it at that.
Why? Last Baby Man has a question. Cassia and Clove are off the table to reappear anytime soon, but what are pronghorns themselves? Can new character ideas be made using deer and antelope species with some possible ties to Eggman?
Potentially, yeah. I don't think they're off the table as a species.
I mean, the first original character was a monkey, and you had a monkey in Archie, so you had a few wolves in Archie. That was a thing. So, sure. Here's one from Bone Needle. How do you think How do you think might Sage react if she ever found out what Eggman did to the E100 series?
I believe she'd be torn because, on the one hand, she trusts in her father's pragmatism, and these are just robots. They are constructions. They're not like her. But there would still be that kind of nagging doubt of he just kind of did him dirty. Would he have done that if we hadn't created a bond? Am I at risk if that bond ever deteriorates? Hmm.
Yeah, Sage, you might want to have a backup plan. Off-site, preferably. And a question from Raphael C. will round this blockout of standard questions. Is it possible that the levels in Mania that came after the Phantom Ruby's distortion are illusions? Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone, SSZ, HCZ, Hydro City. And what was SSC? Sky Sanctuary. While every other is real.
Very hard to say, to be perfectly honest. They could all be illusions. It could be that some of them are illusions. It's not terribly clear.
Could be Ruby illusions. Wait, hold on. That's the question. All right, let's switch over to some super chats again. This one is from Fox Guy. How would Scourge Superstars go down? Love to know about Fang and Trip. Is it going to be the same characters? Or would it be Scourge's team, the Destructix?
Well, this would be classic era, so it would be before it was Scourge, wasn't it? It'd be just evil.
I guess
Sonic.
so. Everyone would be everyone would be in leather.
No.
That's annoying.
Like that. Let's go with Scourge and the updated version. So
yes.
Let's see. Dr. Kentobor has gone to the North Star Islands to find a new.
Wouldn't be the North Star. Would be the South Star.
Well, we're not calling it South Moon. We're keeping this as consistent as we can. Because I'm not figuring out what the opposite of an onyx is. All right.
Yeah.
Locations are the same except for Devil Island. You know what? Quiet. Anyway. Scourge and Miles are going in there to ruin his day because they got wind of it, and there's some potential magical MacGuffin to be used in nefarious fashion. Onux gets some kind of alert that the idiots are all at it again. He really doesn't want this to bring trouble to his doorstep, so he's going to go investigate. And Rosie, she's chasing down Scourge to lovingly murder him. That's reason enough. Kentobor has enlisted the aid of the wonderful, benevolent private detective Snaggle. Snaggle the Jerboa.
Snaggle. Okay, sure.
I don't know what's another good word for Fang. Tooth. Nibbles.
Teeth. Just teeth.
Teeth the Jerboa. Yeah, why not?
Molar. Sounds like he should be a mole then, or claw. I don't know.
And
either way, I'm being told that the anti-trip would be like, I'm mean and not clumsy.
Yeah, no, anti-trip, we'll call her Stumbles. She is totally putting on an act to get in league with the other two. Oh, she's so innocent and the protector of this island, and yeah, totally. She wants to help them drive off the others, and really she's playing everybody for saps because they're all just paving the way for her to grab the black onyx, and she turns into the dark dragon thing and starts ransacking the island at the end.
There you go. Perfect. Here is a question from Scruffy Matt. Team 4-star Vegeta meets Discount Vegeta, aka Shadow the Hedgehog, modern version. What happened?
Uh, they get along just fine. In the
Wow.
most passive aggressive, non-engaging way possible.
Shadow's first friend.
No, they're not friends. Don't be ridiculous. They don't
Oh,
have friends.
okay.
It's just,
I believe
Vegeta
them.
says, I'm going for Froyo. You want Froyo? No, but I'll go anyway. They're not hanging out. They're just sitting in the same vicinity, enjoying their Froyo.
Of
Sure,
course.
they're laughing at, that traffic accident over there, but they're not laughing together. They're just laughing to themselves.
Of course. Of course. They just happen to be laughing at the same time.
They aren't training together. They're actively trying to hit each other, just not too hard, because obviously the other one is too weak to take it.
Alrighty. Here's one from Scurvy Pirate Hog. It's a miracle. Cream's father, insert name and species, has returned. He has finally found a store that sold milk. How does everyone react?
Well, they're so happy. And you know what? Cream knew it. She knew it all along.
Of course.
And Vanilla totally knew it all along to save face. You are not going for milk again, you hear me?
Oh boy.
And somewhere Vector's sulking on, yeah, I hate milk.
Milk. Lord Van Oscar has a question. Revamp of my movie Tales goes to Kyoto and is mistaken for a Divine Spirit question from January. Boy, that was a long time ago. I don't remember that one at all.
It's been a year at least.
Assume the rest of the Wachowskis are there. How do they each react, and how many pictures of Tails in his little cami outfit will Maddie take?
Okay,
So,
let's back it up.
so
Context?
okay, so the question was apparently about movie Tales, went to Kyoto, and got mistaken for a divine spirit.
Okay,
because he's a
kitsune.
kitsune. Yes, because he's a kitsune. Well, I mean, supposed to be.
Okay.
So the question is, how do the Wachowskis react?
They're traveling to Japan and they see Tails
They
there
with
for the
maybe they're
first
like
time?
with Tails. They bring him there,
Okay.
and everyone all of a sudden starts treating him like a god.
Okay. Um, depends on his reaction to it, because if he doesn't respond well, like if all that attention's kind of getting to him, they would run interference. They would, protect him and, shuffle him off to the hotel so he can have a little bit of quiet time. If he's kind of enjoying it, they'll hang back. They'll let him have his moment. They'll keep an eye on him in case things kind of get out of hand, but they'll let him have his moment in the spotlight.
All right. Here's one from Zach D. Merry Christmas, Ian. I recently watched Sonic's Christmas Blast and wonder how would the IDW Sonic cast react to finding out that Sonic is actually Sonic Claus?
Tangle goes, I knew it.
He is real.
See, I told you, Jewel, all those years writing letters, sending off lists, and you said, oh, it's just a fairy tale. He's right here the whole time. Totally called it. I knew it. You owe me so many milk and cookies. And Jewel's just mortified. It's like, it's Sonic in a costume. It's not a real thing. It's Sonic. Explain this to her, please. And Sonic's like, ho, ho, ho. Who is Sonic? Are you kidding me right now?
No, he's Sonic Claus, not Santa Claus. Remember? So his name actually has Sonic in it.
Yeah, well.
So,
Whisper. Jewel looks over to Whisper, help me out on this. And Whisper just kind of looks at Sonic Claus, looks at Tangle, looks at Jewel, and looks her dead in the eye and says, why don't you believe in Santa Claus? He's clearly right there.
All right. Now here's a super chat question from Vixers. Ian, Sega has asked you to take on a unique project that you eagerly accept. Full Castle, the family sitcom featuring Blaze, Marine, and Silver. He deserves a home, and whoever else you desire, run wild.
Blaze Marine and Silver in a sitcom.
in their version of Full House, Full Castle.
Oh, okay. God, Full House. I used to watch that all the time. I don't remember a bloody thing from it.
Yeah, pretty much same.
Like the only thing I really remember is they made a parody of Barney, and the kid ordered a toy, and it's basically just an orange package peanut. And the joke was, capitalism or something. But gosh, um, well, clearly Blaze is head of household, castlehold, trying to keep things together, maintain friendships and families while also running a vast oceanic empire.
Mm-hmm.
And Silver's the good boy who wants to help out and do his best and will try hard, and all of his good intentions, has a full highway paved to hell. And driving down said highway is Marine, who has all the harebrained schemes, all the fun ideas that are going to make them rich quick or revolutionize the empire, and she has not thought them through at all. But she still manages to convince Silver to go in on it, and hijinks ensue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Johnny has retired from being a robot pirate. Now he's just the obnoxious neighbor who needs to have full access to the castle. Because why not?
Sure, why not? Does Marine go, "You got it, dude"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess she does.
Yeah. And Silver says, "How rude." That is definitely Silver's catchphrase. Oi. Boy. I guess Marine's catchphrase would be, "You got it, mate."
Yes, technically.
That's closer. That's more like it. Chaos Sonic 1 asks, say if Sega forces you to bring Eggman Nega back and you can't kill him again, how would you do it? Man, there's people really desperate for you to like Eggman Nega.
You know what? If they want it so bad, they will give me direction and I will march to those orders. I will color inside those lines.
Oh, man. Sorry. Eggman Nega still sucks, especially his name. Jesus.
He needs a new name. He needs a new look. He needs a new motivation.
He needs a new character. He needs to be a different person. He can be voiced by Mike Pollock. That's fine, but he needs to be something else. All right, we're switching back to this one here from Normal Person. What is your favorite dinosaur, and why are you wrong for not choosing Triceratops? And also, apparently, this is a joke question? I don't know. Dinosaurs are no joke.
Well, they are not. And, they leave with a very good point. Triceratops is fantastic.
Yeah.
Personal favorite, though, is the Troodon.
Troodon?
Troodon. It was one of the smaller dromaeosaurs. It was notable for its full-on binocular vision, opposable thumbs,
Yeah.
and a brain large enough it left an imprint on the skull itself. So this thing was a smart freaking Velociraptor-esque dino. Like, potentially, and I don't know how hard the science is, but like potentially almost like chimp level smart. With opposable thumbs, Kyle. This thing was the next step in evolution. We could be dino people right now, but no. The big rock had to fall from the sky, and then the monkeys took over.
Oh, Super Mario
Frieza was right.
Super Mario Brothers movie, but real.
Yes.
The proper Super Mario Brothers movie, thank you very much, not the new one.
We could have been Homosaurian. We were robbed.
Monkey. My favorite dinosaur is Yoshi. Here's one from K9. Spoilers for Sonic Dream Team. Since REM seems to be chilling in Tails' workshop now, could we expect to see more of her in the future, perhaps in IDW? Would that require Hardlight's approval?
I in general, I don't know if she'll be showing up anytime soon because I'm fairly certain that she still like exists in the Reverie. So any kind of story with her would revolve around the Reverie, which is entirely doable. Sure, it's just not like she can walk around or anything. She's not Nicole or Tikal. Um, as for usage, I'm fairly certain that she is a Sonic character, and Hardlight itself is like a subsidiary of Sega. So I'm pretty sure she's on the table. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Then again, Sega AM2 is a subsidiary of Sega, and Honey is not on the table. So what the heck?
Yeah,
Well, Honey may not be on the table. You don't know. You haven't asked.
I'm not 100% certain on that one. So I don't know, but it's questions for later because Dream Team's after Frontiers, and we haven't reached Frontiers in the comic yet. So we can
Mm.
kick that can down the street a little bit.
All right. And here's one from ZismTG. What happened to the pink haired human from Tails Tube? Is she coming? Scrapped? MIA?
Oh, you'll see.
Boy,
You'll see.
it's taking a long time.
It is, and for reasons I cannot remotely get into, but
Okay.
this is the we're going for the long haul on this.
Okay. I would like to know. I'm curious, but I can't know, I guess.
I can't tell you.
You
I
can't even tell
anybody.
you can't even tell us like what she'll be in, if
Nope.
anything.
Nope.
Like you can't say if it's a game or a comic or a
Nothing.
thing. Okay.
Nope.
Boy, you're like interesting. Intriguing. Red Rebel has a question. We've seen Doc Ock as the superior Spider-Man, but how about Starline as the superior Sonic? How does his intelligence, hubris, and morality mix with Sonic's body power and desire to help? Boy, wouldn't Metal Sonic be annoyed?
What's all this one true Sonic now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now I didn't read a ton of Superior Spider-Man, but the one thing that I did read and actually enjoy a lot was Otto finding a new appreciation for Peter and coming to understand what a hero he was. Holy crap, he was totally pulling his punches with me the entire time. He can barely keep his life together because this is nigh impossible. He is truly an outstanding superhuman individual, not just because he's Spider-Man, but because of all he does and who he was. I really liked that angle of Otto finding humility through just trying to reach Peter's level. So, if anything, I would want to try to echo that sentiment with Starline, taking over for Sonic and, abusing the power initially, but then finding out just what kind of hope Sonic brings to everybody else. The way that he awakens the best in people and how his selflessness and encouragement is not just a crutch for people, but a foundation, a strength that they use to find their own strength and grow from. And that all of Starline's previous metaphysical thoughts or metacontextual thoughts on everything were really skewed. And that Sonic is truly a hero for the world. And then going, oh, I've actually ruined something that was good. Uh-oh.
What?
I've unabashedly made something worse, and it is my fault. How do I fix this? And then him desperately struggling to be a proper Sonic, and he can't.
Oof. No, it would not. All right, hold on a second. I need to check something real quick because that looks okay. Never mind. We're good.
Yay!
Here's a question from Red Rebel. Oh, we just did this one. That's right. That's why it looked familiar. All right, here's one from Kasai T. Sorry if I always ramble, just another question for Rough and Tumble. Let's pretend that Clutch is the current father figure for the two. What kind of silly scenarios you seen them having?
They definitely are eager to please because, proud Papa Clutch can, give them things that they can't normally have, like positive reinforcement and regular meals and an allowance. And that sibling rivalry that they have is only going to get more pronounced as they each vie for father's love. And Clutch, being the awful person that he is, leans into that, plays them against each other, has them perform more dangerous and excessive feats just for his own gain, and then gives them just enough improvement, just enough positive reinforcement that they stick around.
Works for me. And our last standard question for this block is from good old Uncle Venus. After last month's kissing debacle ends in a breakup, Ian gets run over by a reindeer. Will Kyle be suing the pants off Santa? I mean, maybe. How much money does Santa have?
Forget suing. Avenge me, Kyle.
I will avenge you with a lawsuit where I win a lot of money. That's really what it comes down to.
I am totally going to come back Bob Cratchit style
Good.
and haunt you.
Good. Come at
You
me.
could have got Rambo on the North Pole, Kyle, but no, you got Leviticus.
But I want to stay home and take a nap, Ian. I don't want to go to the North.
Did too.
I don't want to
But
go.
then guess what? I got run over by a reindeer.
I don't want to go to the North Pole. It's cold there.
Boogity boogity. I'm gonna haunt you forever.
Good. Fine.
Which is ultimately just the two of us watching TV together.
I know.
Every now and again, I look over and go, "Oh yeah, boo,
Boo. Ah! We're still doing BumbleKast. We can do it in the same room now. All right, let's switch over to some super chats. This one's from Sonic Mania 2099. Rough and Tumble are seen still working for Clutch, but issue 65 states the Skunk Brothers were fired. Is this an error? The brothers rehired, or did Clutch never fire them and they made a misunderstanding?
I figured sometimes it's that. Sometimes he fires them and then rehires them. Sometimes they say, "We quit." And he's like, "I didn't hire you in the first place." Oh, well, like whatever tiff they have at the time, they'll come crawling back because, who else is going to hire them to do anything? And he'll keep hiring them because good help is hard to find. And you know what? They'll do for now.
I figured he'd be saying you're fired, but they're never actually fired because as soon as he needs them, he's calling them up or tells them what to do, giving them orders. All right, here's one from Tempo. Interpret which one.
I'm sorry, say again?
Interpret which one.
Well, you got to pick one so I can interpret. I don't know which one you want me to go. If you want me to go with that one, it's going to be completely different from that one over there. Like, sure, you say pick one, I can do that, but interpret it, I'm going to give you one answer and you can't go back and ask about the other one because they're completely different things. I mean, look at that one over there and then look at this one here. Completely different.
Interpret anyone, Ian. Interpret all of them.
All right, fine. I'll go with this one here. All
okay.
right. This is the one I'm doing because this is, you said choose, so I'm interpreting this one. And I would say blue.
Okay. Let's interpret this question from Dove. You know, if you got to do a Sonic crossover with the greatest dinosaur films in history, how would you do it? But of course, I mean The Land Before Time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean,
Mm.
Sonic's no stranger to helping small animals, and those dinosaurs were all incredibly tiny for what they should be. So I imagine it's just like Sonic 3D Blast, but instead of Flickies, it's the Dinosaur Kids, and it's animated by Don Bluth. A, a Don Bluth animated Sonic is a weird thought.
That is. What would he look like?
Very expressive, I can tell you that. Uh, the kids would be all right. I mean, Sonic's going to lead them pretty straight and true. If they get tired, he can just kind of pick them up and run to the Great Valley. I mean, what's Sharptooth going to do? Catch up with him? Please. And even if he does get him cornered, Sonic takes out like heavily armored mecha stuff. He can take out a Tyrannosaurus. Come on.
Yeah. I don't think he'd have a problem. Here's one from Oscar the Bearcat. Sad AM never felt like it needed to be a Sonic show. If you take out Sonic, Tails, and Robotnik, nothing would be lost plot-wise. If you were to do so, who would you create to replace the three?
I mean, it could be anybody, quite literally. Like, you need some kind of overbearing overlord. And some of the leaked concept art of that weird wizard type guy, Robotnik with a C, that could fill the role easily enough.
Tonic,
And
Sails,
Sonic.
and Yobotnik.
And for Sonic himself, you need a character because Sonic's role in the story was the game changer. Like, he had the superhuman skill to turn the tide of whatever they were engaged in. So die upon any species. Shoot, if you really want to play into it, have him be some kind of interstellar being, an alien force that arrives because he's just that divorced from the rest of the story. And Tails, well, being the young protege, he could literally be anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Young animal friend who wants to do better and do more. Now, it's not 100% accurate because Sonic did have ties to the greater narrative. It was his personal investment to save Uncle Chuck. It was his home city too that he was trying to liberate. It was his kingdom he was trying to restore. He isn't like completely superfluous to the story, but I do see where you're coming from. It's really the main driving point of the narrative is Sally's kingdom, Sally's team trying to get her father and her kingdom back.
Yeah. It's the Sally Show. Here's a question from GeoKnuckles. Which modern Sonic cast can ride or pilot the Mighty Morphin Dinozords and the Dragon Zords?
Well, if you're going to access a Zord, I'm pretty sure you have to have a Morpher. And I would imagine that the Morpher does a lot of the heavy lifting in that regard.
I
Like,
suppose.
did any of the teens have any experience piloting mecha? I doubt it. But, they throw up their Morpher, Tyrannosaurus, and now you can pilot a giant mecha.
Sure, why not?
I guess once you're tapped into the Morphin grid, you just kind of like download the ability. It's kind of like the Matrix. I know Kung Fu. I know how to pilot a Tyrannosaurus mecha. That kind of thing.
Whoa. Amazing. Here's one from Happy Times. How's the Sonic cast when it comes to getting their vaccine shots? Anyone scared of needles, or do they just lose their rings when poked? Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Everybody's good about it. I mean, nobody really likes it. I imagine Cream in particular. She's a little kid. She doesn't like it, but she understands the importance of it.
Oh man, poor Silver came back and had to get caught up on him, and boy, he was not happy.
Oh man, you still have diseases? At least in my time, everything got eradicated.
Yeah. All right, here's one from Frostk9. How do the Soul Dimension people welcome the new year?
On the summer solstice,
But
watch the giant sun drop. I don't know.
don't drop the sun, Ian. They need that. They were using that. Blaze makes her own fireworks. Blaze is the fireworks show, I guess.
Yeah, joke answer, but maybe that is better. You know, celebrated at the height of summer.
Yeah.
You know, this is, you know, everything's been leading up to this, and now everything's kind of downhill as we go into winter.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
And that's how they do it in Australia and other places in the southern hemisphere. Here's one from Jacob V. Have any of the Sonic crew, both in Archie and IDW, played any tabletop RPGs like D&D, Pathfinder, and so on?
Oh, we've covered this a
We've
bunch on the show.
we've talked about this, yeah.
Yeah, I imagine Tails would be a DM. He'd convince others to come in and play.
Yep.
They would humor him to varying degrees. And definitely Boom Eggman would be a terrible DM, but he would want to get everybody in there. And I imagine the Boom crew would actually show up because they really don't like playing with him, but he always has the best spread of snacks and drinks. Like, seriously. Eat like a king here. And he doesn't charge anything. He's just that desperate for people.
Yeah. Here's one from Bad Piggies Lover 123. What are the ages of Lanolin, Spike Porcupine, Sonar the Fennec, Gion Tiger, Bow Sparrow, Thorn the Lob, Dawn Rooster, Galahound, Irma Ermione? Is that how you say that? Irma Ermine? Emma Ermine? Irma Ermine? I don't know. Barbie Koala and Thrash. Ask Adam and Aaliyah if needed. No, we can't do that right now.
They're not on tap. I think some of those might have been covered in the Sonic Encyclopedia or Mobius Encyclopedia, whatever we called it.
Yeah, not Lanolin.
Not Lanham, but you know,
The Archie characters.
Ermine, going way back. That might have been covered in that. I don't remember now, but they're all roughly comparable to Sonic's age.
Yes. Let's go with late teens, early 20s for just about all of them. What does that mean? I don't know. There's one from Cadence. What would dating Shadow be like? Asking for a friend.
It'd be an exercise in patience.
It would be a very one-sided thing.
Yeah. I mean, he might be attentive in his own standoffish, aloof way, but don't expect a very physically or an emotionally open and supportive partner there.
No. I figured not. And we got a question from a Lowland Figment. Sonic Heroes turns 20 today. If you were to write a Team Chaotix game, how would you do it? I think introducing Clutch to the games would be cool.
That would be neat. Also, 20 years. I remember playing it on my GameCube.
Yeah,
we still had CRT TVs back then.
Boy, that game certainly looks 20 years old.
Yeah, but the music still slaps.
Yes.
Chaotix game. I would imagine. Now, hear me out. This is the first parallel I can think of, and it doesn't sound right, but hear me out. Basically, kind of GTA-esque, where you have an open world for exploration, and you switch between the three of them for different ways of navigating that open world.
Mm-hmm.
and you're exploring the city that feels lived in so that you can talk to NPCs and get cases or get clues. You can actually go to locations to investigate. I'm not saying you have to render out every single apartment building, but maybe you go to a particular block, access the building, and that loads like an apartment that you can investigate and look into. But you know, maybe, and you need to have a little bit of the fantasy element to it. So Charmy's able to like fly around the city, get to areas that the others can't. Vector's good for big like brawler segments. SBO is swift enough that he's outpacing the cars in the street because he could climb the building straight up as well.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of Metal Gear Solid-esque stealth with SBO turning invisible. It would be a surprisingly large and complex game if you did it right, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, just make a visual novel. Like Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, but it stars the Chaotix.
Oh, so Chaotix, but Danganronpa with the Chaotix.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe not. Maybe don't do that. Maybe more like Phoenix Wright with the Chaotix. Here's one from Ellie. What are your thoughts on the Sega IP revivals? And are you hoping they're all reboots, or would you like to see continuations of their continuities?
Exciting to see Sega jumping back into the game and, well, into the games, I should say. And
they've said this before. That's what I'm at. They've done this before. That's why I'm like cautiously, very cautiously optimistic. But I'm like, they've done this before. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Maybe this time it'll stick. Maybe this time it'll stick and we'll get, a new Sega Renaissance. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Boy, wouldn't that be nice?
As for continuations or originals, that is the great debate. Like with Crazy Taxi, I don't think you really need to worry too much about continuity. It's
No,
it's Crazy
there's
Taxi.
no
Hey,
story.
let's some crazy money.
There's no story there, not really.
But stuff like Golden Axe or Streets of Rage, which do have stories, but they're so far apart, and in some cases extremely dated, like you don't really have access to this material, or like say Golden Axe's case, which version are we going with? Are we going with console or arcade? What's the canon story to this? Are we counting Beast Rider from back in the Xbox days? How
I'd be the only one who would say you better, but I'm like the only one.
Like the lore nerd in me wants to honor all of that legacy and pick up from where you left off. Find ways to tell the old story within the new so that you get that sense of legacy and so that the old farts like me can go, oh yeah, we're picking up where we left off. And the new folks are like, okay, this is cool. It's accessible to me. On the other hand, if it's so old and detached, maybe it is better to just start fresh. Lay a new foundation, start over, take elements that were good from before and put it with a modern sensibility to it. I see the value in both.
Yeah.
So really it's just kind of sit back and see what they give us and hopefully it's all fun.
Shinobi should be pretty straightforward. Luckily. Same with Streets of Rage. I mean, you just continue off from 4. Why would you reinvent the wheel for that one? They already did that. They already did a continuation of it. Keep it going. And otherwise, yeah, I mean, I think all the beat 'em up Golden Axe games are considered canon, so I don't think it really matters too much. The only one that's exclusive to arcade that's never come home is the second arcade Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder, but that's it. And you can still fit that in. It's fine. There's not much to it. Easy.
And with the Jet Set Radio, it's my understanding the future is basically just a retelling of the first game, but with a different aesthetic.
Maybe. I don't know for sure.
And if anything, the new one looks like it's following off of the first game's look. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's not many games to go off of, so might as well just pull from both. All right, here's a question from Mighty Gabura. Ian, impossible worlds are mentioned in Isekai Ogiri. With that, would you say worlds of all kinds can or even do exist in Sonic's worldview?
If that makes you happy, yes.
In Sonic's worldview? Like of himself? I mean, maybe? I don't know. What does Sonic think, Ian?
Look, what you see is what you get. He's just a hedgehog that loves adventure.
Okay. Got it. True Cosmic Digilab 79 has a question. What are your guys' thoughts on a Surge version of Amy to round out our hedgehog group?
So, like an imposter version
Like an
of
imposter
Amy?
version of Amy, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I don't want to overplay the joke too much, but I mean, when you get down to it, what would that be that isn't just Surge again?
Or old Amy cranked up to 11.
Let's not go back there.
No, let's not.
But like seriously, Surge is almost an antithesis to Amy in so many ways as she is a parallel to Sonic.
Yeah.
So unless it was like another support unit a la Kit, who is just like a violently hardcore Surge fangirl supporter. Like the obsessive, she can do no wrong and will, full on attack anyone who says otherwise.
Yeah. And yes, I know Amy was not like that all the time. We're talking that certain era. Don't get it twisted. And Cameron D has a question. Hi guys, have you ever wanted to explore Dark Supersonic from Sonic X in any way? If yes, how would Sonic achieve the super form, and how could Eggman, Starline, or Surge exploit this?
No.
Nope. There's not really much to it. It doesn't happen for very long, and you don't really see it much. Right?
You get like all of 5 seconds of him standing there. There is no implication of ability or powers or feats or whatever. And basically Eggman says this is out of character, stop it, and Sonic stops it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the closest brush we've had with it since is Sonic gets infected with Dark Gaia energy, and the whole thing is he physically transforms, but his spirit doesn't change because he's just that pure-hearted.
Yeah.
Dark Supersonic is not a thing. It is a passing idea at most.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense to me. Fun Floof the Cartoon has a question. We're switching over to some standards for a bit. Will Sega and the lore team give the island of Neverlake and the Sonic 4 zones an official name? Aaron Reber has acknowledged Mirage Island, but I doubt the name's been considered internally.
We might at some point, if it's necessary or relevant. I do remember the moment where Aaron was kind of ambushed with that certificate and told to sign and like, look, it's official now. I'm not speaking for him because we've never discussed the topic, but I felt really bad for him at that point. That is like the worst way to engage with somebody official. And he was head of like social media. He had no kind of authority like that. So, if you get the opportunity to, engage with someone who is with Sega in some official capacity, don't put them on the spot like that. It's rude at the very least.
Yeah. Man. That's pretty lame. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Like, I understand the enthusiasm, but that's tacky and it puts him in a very awkward situation.
Yeah, for sure. Don't do that. Warriors Galaxy has a question. For whatever reason, Infinite is forced to join Team Chaotix. Do they all manage to a last minute before it goes horribly wrong? I don't. I think you missed a word there in the last
I
one,
get the
but
spirit. I
yeah,
think I
yeah.
get the spirit of it though. God, he'd be such a pain to work with.
Like before, is this like post Phantom Ruby? Does he have the Phantom Ruby? Like,
We'll just assume that he just kind of like pops up again, like Charmy flies in. Look, I found this cool paperweight. Charmy, no, that's a Phantom Ruby.
no.
And because Charmy's kind of laid claim to it, it's almost like a genie in a lamp, and now Infinite has to work with him, and he's just so much smarter and more powerful than they could even fathom. Yeah. I got any insight into this case? I, you don't, do you? It would be beyond your ken what I have managed to decipher. Yeah, blah 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 blah. And eventually, like, Infinite manages to create a phantom illusion that baits the culprit out to confess to his crime, and the Chaotix bust him, and they give Infinite a little word of encouragement, and he just kind of falls all to pieces. Well, of course I'm that brilliant and essential to the team and whatnot. And Charmy's like, you sure were? Night, night, and turns off the Phantom Ruby.
Yes. All right, here's one from Knizu. I was wondering, how would the hooligans think of pasta? I can only imagine the outcome of the guys. Plus, glad to be here on my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Knizu.
Happy birthday. The hooligans eating pasta?
Pizza pasta.
I don't see why not.
Pasta. Pizza. Pizza pasta.
I don't think it's Bark's favorite thing. I think he prefers, colder foods. Although you can have cold pasta. I'm imagining this is more like your standard, warm Italian meals, but there's cold pastas out there. He'd find something to eat. Bean, you got to keep an eye on because he's going to make a spaghetti mustache. He's going to try to build things with his lasagna. He's going to cause problems, but in general, sure, they're fine with pasta.
Pasta. And I'm hungry. Here's a question from Magnus D. Ian, you are appointed Sonic Stan's Minister of Culture and can decide what Sonic song becomes a newly formed Superpowers anthem. Instrumental or not, what do you choose?
I think I missed the core of the question.
Sonic Stan, like it's the country.
The land of Sonic Stan, yes,
the country's
cultural ambassador, blah blah blah. What am I doing?
You are deciding what Sonic song becomes the newly formed Superpowers anthem.
Ah, the national anthem.
The national anthem of Sonic Stan.
Now I'm spoiled for choice.
I know. It's the most anthemic Sonic song.
Well, if this is the land of Sonic, being Sonic Stan,
yes,
it's got to be. It doesn't matter. Endemic of our cultural pride in self-reliance and determination.
It doesn't matter. Now what happens? I will never give up the fight. Yeah. Meanwhile, over on Shadow Island, they're singing I Am All of Me. Oscar the Bearcat has a question. Is the Razor not bound to the 3 genie rules, or was he so powered up by absorbing the Arabian Nights that he could get around at least the resurrection one?
Here's the thing. From my understanding, in the actual original Arabian Nights, there aren't any limits. Like, the 3-wish rule was introduced in the Disney version to give them some constraints to the plot. Otherwise, Aladdin would just win. So, because I could be very wrong, but my understanding is that the original Arabian Nights was basically just a power trip fantasy. The genie could do anything, unlimited.
Yeah.
But within the context of Secret Rings, with Eraser, looking into getting the world rings and his whole purpose being to rewrite the story, I can't remember now if and when he has any of the rings. But yeah, we'll say that he got around rules because he actually had like the source code to the narrative.
There you go. Works for me. Here's a question from Shadow the Destroyer. How would both of you bring Sonic.exe into the canon?
Nope.
Wouldn't.
Absolutely not.
Nope. Would not. Would not. I barely know anything about it, first of all. And Ian can't touch fan stuff.
Well, never mind that. I don't like the spooky.
Well, yeah.
I don't like the creepypasta. I don't. I dislike immensely, so no.
He's not even scary. He's just silly.
I don't know. I'm not engaged. All I know is that it's some kind of weird, creepy, maybe gross. I don't know.
Bloody Sonic with black and red eyes. We already have a Sonic with black and red eyes who's infinitely cooler. Metal Sonic. Maybe we're just old, Ian. Maybe we just don't get it.
There we go. We'll show Eggman's screen and it shows that Metal Sonic runs on Sonic.exe.
We're just a bunch of old boomers here, Ian. We're just out of touch.
I thought I was a
We know
millennial.
nothing.
I thought I was a millennial. Am I a boomer? I don't know.
Boomer, Ian. Boomer is not a. It's not the year you were born. It's a state of mind. That's why when people call you a boomer, it's like, okay, boomer. It's like, yeah, they're not referring to when you were born. They're referring to how you're acting.
Well, then I'm just straight up geriatric because I'm that far out of the loop. What are the terms the kids are using today?
That's both of us. Both of us. Yeah.
Boom box? What? I had one of those.
It's true. Lord Van Oscaro has a question. Huh?
That's a lie. I was never cool enough to have a boom box.
I did, I guess. Hang on a second. Did okay. Had a paid question. I don't know about this. I don't know if you should get a paid question and a standard question. I know sometimes that happens. It's hard to keep track of, but I'm noticing this one. So I'm like, no. Well, you know what? Hold on. Okay, fine. We'll do it. Tails creates this one is from Lord Ved Oscaro. Tails creates a machine that allows knights into the physical plane. How do Surge, Kit, and Mimic react to Knights' reality-defying powers, and when they realize they may have to fight such power?
Surge is going to fight. It don't matter if she's outclassed. She's still going to fight. I mean, she's all about dashing people's hopes and dreams. Doesn't matter if it's physical or not. Kit is struggling with the rationality of it, but Surge says they're going to kill it, so he's going to kill it.
Perfect.
And Mimic, he is going to assess whether or not he can kill it. And if not, then he's just going to strategically retreat.
Alrighty. Here's one from the Saxon. Hey, Ian, can you tell Evan that even though there are a lot of people who want to rip into her, I'm hoping and praying for her to keep doing well and that I love her comics? Thanks.
I will pass that on, but, she's on Tumblr and I believe she's on other social medias. Tell her that yourself,
Yes.
Cut out the middleman. Give her the well wishes yourself, because I know she'd appreciate it.
Who wants to rip into Evan? Who are they?
Kyle,
tell me who they are. I just want to know. I just want to talk to them. Ignore this gun I'm loading. I just want to talk to him. It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. Oric the cat. Hello, Ian Flynn. In Ares Island, there is a shrine that Sonic sees that has a broken off color Master Emerald. And behind that looks like a block path by stones. Would you explain those two?
Okay, so here's the thing. In the script, there was a suggestion that there would be a region that resembled the Master Emerald Shrine, and that Knuckles would see it and think of Hidden Palace Zone and make the realization that the ancients were connected to the emeralds. The result was that weird compound and that broken gem and such, and I don't know what those are really meant to be. I have my speculations. I know where I would want to take it, but that's something for the lore team to fully investigate, I'd imagine.
All right. And we got a question from Blue. Are the Sonic Cafe mobile games canon? I would assume so, as they were developed by Sonic Team, but I want to know what you think.
I would assume not, because they were on like flip phones back in the day.
Are they the Java games?
I don't think they're accessible anymore, and I don't even remember if they had any story.
They should put them on something. Like, release them on something. They should take all those old lost Sonic games and release a collection of them. Call it like Sonic Gems Collection or something.
And weren't some of them just like Sonic Golf? It's a Java golf game that they put Sonic's face on.
Yes, probably.
Ooh.
Put it.
The deep lore that we're missing out on.
I need it.
Shock horror.
I need it, Ian. I need the collection of that includes Sega Sonic Popcorn Shop. And Wacko.
That's absolutely canon.
Wacko Sonic Patrol Car.
Gospel truth.
Oh no, Sonic was a cop. Oh no. That's why he doesn't put anybody in jail anymore. It's bad memories of those days. There's one from Vexer. What were the D6 doing before the events of Lost World?
Being awful, I imagine.
I'm gonna say chillin', like some villains.
I mean, the implication I got is that there are other Zeti and other tribes on Lost Hex, so maybe fighting for territory? But I don't know for sure.
Yeah. I don't know either. What I do know is we're switching over to some super chats. This one is from Disco Draws. How would Shadow react if he found out him and Sonic had a kid and Sonic didn't tell him? If that's not something he can answer, would Sonic adopt Harold if him and Shadow got into a relationship? I thought we talked about this. Maybe something like this at one point. Really?
I think if Shadow found out that he and Sonic had managed to have a kid without him knowing, his first question would be how? How Gerald didn't build him for that. He doesn't think it's really how? Explain yourself, Blue Hedgehog. Well, you see, I wanted to raise him on my own. No. Not the parental aspect. Not the relationship aspect. The physicality, the biology. How?
Well, I mean, Shadow is the ultimate life form. I don't know what that means exactly, but it's as good of an excuse as any.
I have to. There's a few jokes I've stepped on tonight that I know
Let's not.
Anyway,
I can say what I want, Ian. Nobody cares. You don't get to say what you want, because if you did, it would be very dangerous, and the reaction would be very bad.
Anyway, adopting Harold. Sonic's going to be the fun dad. You know, Harold wants to go joyriding. Sure, let's drive fast. Harold wants McDonald's. Totally get McDonald's, even though we have McDonald's at home.
They have McDonald's at home?
Gallivanting across the city rooftops at night. Sure, let's go, buddy. And Shadow's like, no, he has a curfew. He's not going to finish his homework in time. He's going to be hyper before bed. Sonic, stop it. You're a terrible father.
No, the worst he can be is super before bed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the sigh. Sonic Fighter 09 has a question. Will Sonic ever get to return to Station Square?
Maybe? I know it's not up to me.
Wouldn't it be funny if that happened? Couldn't imagine. Here's one from Gao. Huh?
Just a quick thought. It was pretty heavily devastated by Perfect Chaos. It'd be a fine excuse to just remodel the whole thing.
Well, I mean, yeah. It's been a while. It's been long enough, hasn't it? It's been what? 6 months in universe? That's enough.
Yeah.
However long it's been, 6 months over the course of 5 years. I don't know. Whatever. All right, now we get into this question here from Godzilla. Hey, Ian and Kyle, since this is the year of Godzilla, 2 movies and a TV show, it's only natural I ask this. Could Tikal summon Mothra? I mean, isn't the Mystic Melody / prayer just the Mothra song?
Oh, she absolutely could.
She could, and she will.
Oh, yeah. Like, things are going down on the world below. It's looking kind of dire. Little pink sparkle floats up from the Master Roll and takes form. Tikal, bows her head reverently. Mathura, Mathura. And just from Sky Sanctuary, you hear the crrr, whoosh, there goes Mothra.
There she goes. That's why Mothra rules.
Absolutely.
She's awesome. DDR Master M has a question. Uh-oh, someone forgot to take down the mistletoe. How do the duos of Blaze and Omega, Sonic and Jet, Knuckles and Rouge, and Sonic and Tangle handle it?
Okay. These rapid fire group things, like my addled brain cannot handle. The first one was Blaze and Omega.
Blaze and Omega.
Well, they stare awkwardly at each other and up at it for a minute, and then Omega offers to light it on fire, and she agrees.
And they both light it on fire at the same time.
Sonic and Tangle. Playful kiss. No drama. Just fun. Mwah, and they're done. Shadow and Rouge.
Knuckles and Rouge.
Who?
Knuckles and Rouge.
Okay. Well, either way, he absolutely refuses, and she still goes for it, and he's completely taken off guard.
Yep.
And she laughs and laughs and laughs and laughs. And then Sonic and Jet?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely refuse. Totally aren't going to do it. That's not the way they do that's not what they do, but it's a good thing because Sonic totally would be better. And Jet's like, what are you talking about? I'd be the better kisser. And then they're just like violently making out to show who's better at kissing.
This is not canon. This is not canon. This did not happen.
Late Christmas present to you Sonic Jet shippers.
Yes. Yes. Which probably is more than I would think, but I don't know.
It's two characters that actively antagonize, and one really hates the other. So yeah,
okay.
Of course they're in love.
Just like Sonic and Surge, obviously, yeah. And Sonic and Scourge.
Sonic and everything with a pulse. And given how many robots are in the series, things without a pulse.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Heart13 has a question. Sonic Boom meets Teen Titans Go. How badly does this crossover go? And how many references to the 90s Sonic animated TV series does Control Freak make during that crossover?
Just enough to be obnoxious. The first few are like, hey, I get that reference. That's kind of fun. And he's, poking fun at the people who can't let go of a cartoon that's been dead for like 30 years. And then it's like, they keep beating that same horse. And it's still dead. It's like, okay, pick up some new material. Let's make another joke. Please. Please. And then boom, Knuckles joins in with Cyborg and Beast Boy about screaming about waffles or something.
Waffles. All right, there's one from Domino AU. What Sonic characters would listen to heavy metal?
I imagine Sonic would, for funsies.
I mean, he has
It's a good
in
tempo to
various
keep pace with.
in various other ones.
Shadow needs it for like white noise, good relaxing music, especially with screamo.
Very very relaxing.
Knuckles likes the energy of it. I think Tails needs it to just like focus sometimes. You know, sometimes he's got too many thoughts going on in his head. He's got too many inventions, too many projects. He just needs that to just like focus on. All the noise is out there, so it's not actually in his head.
Mm-hmm. That's all Amy
And-
listens to.
And Cream is the front singer for a baby metal band.
A baby metal cover band. Delightful. Here's one from Media Muncher 69. Nice. Is Sonic 4 half canon? Lore-wise, it makes no sense.
It's canon enough.
I think we should just sweep that one under the rug. Yeah, all the rugs. All of
happened.
them. Every rug.
Look, if Sonic Labyrinth is on the list, Sonic 4 is.
Fine. David C. has a question. Sonic travels to the manga universe and sees this version of himself actually dating Amy Rose and being her boyfriend. Would he consider dating his own version of Amy?
Not necessarily. I mean, he sees this version of Sonic living his best life. He's like, good for you, buddy.
Yeah, Sonic's character can't change, so he doesn't learn anything, you know?
That's not to throw, modern Son Amy under the bus. It's just Sonic, lives by his own rules, by his own desires.
By
He's
his
not
own
going to be
feelings.
swayed by other versions of himself because those are just other versions of him.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's one from the lazy Engibot. Since Eggman is Ian's self-insert, how would you acquire the Master Emerald and deal with Rad Red?
How would I
Yes,
acquire it?
since you are apparently Eggman.
All right, well.
Eggman is your self-insert. I knew it, Ian. We thought it was Starline, but no, it turns out it was Eggman all along.
Well, I mean, I got the body shape down, don't I? Let's see. At this point, it's, we've had enough trial and error. It's time to work smarter, not harder. So get a stealth ship. I know where Angel Island is. Fly out there. Wait for Knuckles to go on a pee break. Take the emerald. Laugh as he plummets. Win.
We all know Ian takes a pee, or not. Whoops. We all know Knuckles takes a pee break on the emerald.
Absolutely not. He protects it.
That's one way to that's one way to protect it. Mark it as his own territory.
He's not a dog.
I know he's not a dog, but there's other dogs on the island.
What other dogs on the island?
There's other things on the island that would be dissuaded if it smelled.
I haven't given my answer.
Come on. If Eggman can piss on the moon, Knuckles can piss on the Master Emerald.
We're starting off the new year like this, aren't we? Okay.
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are. Spoiler 1001 has a question. Would Fang let Tails work on the Marvelous Queen if the two were to have a truce?
If it was a truce. Like, Fang has been absolutely left with no other option. Like both his hands are broken, and the Marvelous Queen is on the cusp of being irreparably destroyed. Yes, Tails can touch his baby, but otherwise, no.
All right. Sorry, I was still laughing at the last one and everyone's reaction to it. Sorry, guys. Except I'm not. I don't feel bad. For Sonic Fan has a question. Ian and Kyle, you guys have to live with Scourge and Fiona in a house for a week. How would this go? Would you guys survive? God, no.
Oh, no. I don't care what the prize is, what the stipulation is. I'm out.
No. No. Would not survive. Would be dead. Physically and everything else.
Like if it was just Fiona, then, as long as I have all of my valuables put somewhere else, I figure we can work out even terms of, who has access to what, when, and just stay out of each other's way. Yeah, it's Scourge to the mix, and no, untenable.
No. 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 Do not want. We got one here from OzJam. Happy early New Year's. How would the events of Superstars and Frontiers go if Sage and Trip switch roles? Take any approach to this idea.
That
That would be
they're
a
both kind of intrinsic to their stories.
yeah, that would be a major change, especially for Frontiers.
Like in Superstar's case, Sage has no relation to the North Star Islands at
Yeah.
all. So she would just be with Eggman during his conquest and, I don't know, pilot one of his mechas, help Fang upgrade the Marvelous Queen for a couple of the boss fights, be amongst the villains as they are ousted in the end. She's not going to really make that big of a change. She's not going to befriend Amy. She's not going to try to contain the Black Dragon, and she's with Eggman. In Frontiers, why is Trip even there? Well, I mean, maybe she's going with everybody to investigate the missing emeralds.
Or maybe she's the guardian of the North Star, or not, whatever, over the islands. Shoot.
The Starfall Islands?
Yeah, she's guardian of the Starfall Islands.
Yeah, but why? She's not remotely attached to the ancient. I'm overthinking the question.
You are really overthinking it. This is like complete role swap, dude.
Well, if she's guarding the Starfall Islands, everything was dormant. It was a really easy job, and then Sonic shows up, and now there are all these hostile robots all over the place. What did you do?
Yeah, pretty much.
And now Sonic's fighting them, and Sonic is breaking them, and he's turning golden and super and causing all sorts of trouble, and she's just like panicking because he's breaking all the stuff. She didn't even know there was stuff here, and now she's breaking it. Stop! And Sonic's like, no, my friends are trapped in cyberspace. And she's like, I don't care. They broke the seal. It's their own fault. Stop it. You're making me look bad on my job that nobody else cares about. And then the end shows up and goes, boogity, boogity, I may be a moon. She's like, okay, maybe you can kill that.
Boogity, boogity, I'm here for your job review. Trip. You've done a very poor job.
Moon's in the sky and says you have to die. That's the end there.
It's good.
When it's purple and mean, but it don't mean a thing. That's the end there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Here's a question from Shibumi Tanuki. What are some of the IDW cast celebrates New Year, especially now with Surge as part of the team? How does she and Kit react to the yucky feelings of friendship and hope for the future? Disgusting.
Well, Tangle's going to party hardcore. She's got the glasses that say 2024. She's got the hat that says 2024. She's got the little laser light flapper thingy that says 2024. She's curling her tail to say 2024. She's
People,
screaming Happy New Year to everybody.
people, people are asking Tangle if she can see anything. She's like, nope, not a thing.
Whisper is there.
She's not happy.
Present. It's a big crowd. It's very loud. She's there for a few minutes, and Tangle's going, "Whoa, 2024, Happy New Year, Happy New Year." Okay, I'm good. You can go home, hon. What? I know this is not your scene. The Wisps are waiting for you back at our place with some hot cocoa. Just go back and chill out. Watch the ball drop on TV. I'll be home later.
There you go.
Jewel is hosting. She's got a very sedate, calm, upper class party that Tango's going to crash. Duo has a stomach ache, so he can't attend as he plots and plans and whatever. And Kid is really surprised that Surge is out there wearing the 2024 goggles and having the 2024 hat on and is partying with everybody else. He's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "They have no idea what's coming. I am celebrating the doom that is about to drop on their heads. This is great. We are the only two people in on this joke." And he's like, "Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Good."
Very good, yes. And we got a question from Coyotix. How would an interaction between Whisper and Mighty go?
Very respectful.
I was going to
Very
say,
understated.
a mutual understanding of how badass each one is.
And he would actually kind of begin he would initiate the interaction with giving her space, saying, "I've heard that, you need your distance. So is this okay? Are you comfortable with this?" Like, he's already aware of her boundaries and her needs. And she's like, "Oh, cool. Thanks. This is fine. I've heard you're, very cool to deal with." He's like, "I try." And then like the bestest of buddies.
Yes. They're super cool. And we got one from Joe Doughboy fan. If Mario and Sonic switch games, could Mario complete Sonic's levels and vice versa?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not?
They're both swift. They're both nimble. They both jump on people to defeat them.
I mean,
I could do it.
Sonic rolled around. Or not Sonic, Mario rolled around in the most recent game. Why not? They'll fit right in. All right. Let's go ahead and do a couple of standard questions. Switch back to those for a bit. This one is from Jara. Dr. Fukarov, Marine, Wave, Starline, and Bell enter into a science fair against one another. What do they enter? Who would win? And what hijinks would ensue?
Fukurkov would put in some kind of incredibly dangerous and unethical robot. Disqualified. Bell would feel really sympathetic and offer to like de-weaponize it so he can compete, and he would leave in a huff because how dare you touch his perfect invention.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Dr. Fukurokov sounds like now, officially.
Okay.
No, he's not Dr. Strangelove. What are you talking about?
I'll allow it.
Bell has found a wonderful new way to recycle some of Eggman's trash into excellent compost that grows just about anything. And she's showing off the bountiful harvest that she's managed to do in like 3 months. Top prize.
Yeah.
Wave shows off extreme gear. It's not hers, it's a new one that she built. It's an extreme gear.
Okay. Where'd she
But
get
you
it?
don't love extreme gear? It's cool. It should win by default because it's extreme gear.
Where'd she steal it from?
Why are you not giving her top prize? What are you talking about, Kyle? Shut up. Look at this extreme gear. Why are you not just salivating at the look of this beautiful board? You know what? She's so above and beyond all you. She's out.
No. No. Yeah, no.
Who else was on the list?
Marine and Starline.
Marine has managed to build a quite functional seaworthy device out of random crap she's found. Like Belle is looking over this thing going, sawdust. How does this work? Like, it's like you built a birdhouse and it somehow launches missiles. How did you do this?
And Marine's like, I have no idea.
I just slap a couple things together there and it bonds a boat. And Starline is just kind of patiently watching and waiting for everybody to do their thing. And then he holds up his hypno glove and it's like, this is a hypno glove. What it does is it steals all your inventions and I win.
He would do that.
And Marine's like, it's not even new.
Gross. Weird. Yes, folks, no more new questions tonight. Thank you, everybody, for your support. We are going to keep answering as many as we can to round out the 2 hours, so we got a few minutes left. But no more new questions. So thank you. Thank you so much for all your support and for sending us so many questions and giving us so much to talk about and answer. Here's one from Original Teach. Original Tick. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce that. Starling gets isekai'd into the Alan Wake universe. How long does he last before a Taken/the Dark Presence yeets him into another world? I have another, but I want to know how this one ends.
I've never played Alan Wake. I do know the general premise, though, that the writer is basically trying to write his way out of the story, I think.
Maybe?
He has some control over the narrative.
I might be getting Alan Wake confused with the Press X to Jason game.
I think so, yeah.
What is the Press X to Jason game? I'm forgetting it. That's all I can remember is Press X to Jason. Heavy Rain.
Anyway,
there we go. That's the game I'm getting him confused with.
Okay. So Starline, in theory, should be fine because he has that obnoxious ability to look outside of the main narrative and manipulate it. The thing is, once he realizes he can craft his own story, he's going to get full of himself. He's going to take too much time writing himself to be the big, perfect Gary Stew and completely miss the point of what he's trying to do. And the darkness is going to get him. And we have another plush.
Perfect. All right. Switch back over to Super Chats because we've got a couple left. This one's from No Originality. You guys got any last words for 2023?
Good riddance.
See ya.
That's not a totally fair assessment. It was one of my best years for work and for projects. And it was easily the best year for the BumbleKast. You guys elevated this show incredibly. And that is something I am immensely thankful for. Thank you guys very, very much. I say be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and you were really good to us. So thank you very much for that. I am very thankful for that. But there were personal things, family things, and world things that I'm like, you know what? If I had to lose my good fortune to offset all of that, I'll make that Faustian deal. I'll make do. Let's trade off a little bit to even this out, please.
Yeah, it's been a wild year. It's been a thing. Well, to close us out though, we got one last thing, Ian. We have one last request. This one is from Stephen A. Let's finish the year with a song. Pick an Animaniacs song. Any Animaniacs song. Happy New Year, folks.
Oh, wow.
Any of them. Yeah.
The one that I don't need to look up lyrics for, just the top of my head. Chicken boo, what's the matter with you? You don't act like the other chickens do. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da-da. You wear a disguise to look like human guys, but you're not a man, you're a chicken boo.
Oh, that was fast. That was shorter than I expected. I was thinking this is where going to be. So, I mean, that works.
Yeah, but that's a lame one out. Let's not end the year on that. Give me a minute here. Let's see. We'll toss a couple ideas out to the chat. No official poll, but Kyle, whatever you see people shout out the most.
Yeah, let's go. Let's see. What do you
Great
think?
big universe. I'm mad or I'm cute.
uh, what do you think? Nope. Universe. Yep, universe. Ian's already done Yakko's World before. He's done that one, so yeah, you can find that one. He's done it before. So do universe.
All right, I think I can do this one off of memory without having to look up a track.
It's a great big universe.
Let's see. Everybody lives on a street in a city or a village or a town for what it's worth. And they're all inside a country which is part of a continent that sits upon a planet known as Earth. And the Earth is a ball full of oceans and some mountains which is out there spinning silently in space. And living on that Earth are all the plants and the animals and also the entire human race. It's a great big universe, and we're all really puny. We're just tiny little specks about the size of Mickey Rooney. It's big and blanket inky, and we are small and inky. It's a big universe, and we're not. And we're part of a vast interplanetary system stretching 700 billion miles long. With 9 planets and a sun, we think the Earth's the only one that has life on it, although we could be wrong. Across the interstellar voids are a billion asteroids, including meteors and Halley's Comet, too. And there's over 50 moons floating out there like balloons in a panoramic trillion-mile view. And still, it's all a speck amid 100 billion stars and a galaxy we call the Milky Way. It's 60,000 trillion miles from one end to the other, and still it's just a fraction of the way, because there's 100 billion galaxies that stretch across the sky filled with constellations, planets, moons, and stars. And still the universe extends to a place that never ends, which maybe is just inside a little jar. It's a great big universe, and we're all really puny. We're just tiny little specks about the size of Mickey Rooney, though we don't know how we got here. We're an important part here. It's a big universe, and it's ours.
Glorious. Thank you. Thank you.
Good choice, chat. That's a good one.
That is very good. That is a great, fantastic song. Yeah, I love that one.
You know what? Encore. I'm having fun. What the other two? I'm mad or I'm cute. What do you think, chat?
Not good night, everybody. Let's see. Someone here is saying that their girlfriend hates the singing segments of what? Of Animaniacs or of the BumbleKast? Either way, get a new girlfriend. I'm kidding. Uh-oh, we have a war. But I'm cute was first, so we'll go with I'm cute.
I'm cute. All right. I mean, it loses something without, the trio, but we'll do our best. This is a fun one. This one has a special place in my heart because I just remember my mom cracking up, especially as we were watching this one.
Uh-huh.
I'm cute. Yes, it's true. I really can't help it, but what can you do when you're cute? It just shows with those two darling eyes and a cute little nose and a pretty pink dress that's adorable, yes. And when they see my dimples, and everyone says, "Ah, shoot, isn't she cute? Cute, cute, oh, isn't she cute? Cute, cute. I'm the one they adore. I'm sweet and I'm cuddly and small just like Dudley, but more. It's a chore to be constantly cute and enchanting to boot when with my lips sticking out in a cute little pout, and then there's just no doubt. Then there's just no doubt why the guys like to shout, "She's a beaut." Let's face it, I'm cute. Cute, cute, oh baby, she's cute. Cute, cute. Being cute's a thing you can't hide. If you look up the word in a book, there's my picture inside. TV Guide has me on the cover. Don't you just love her? I'm simply a goddess, and isn't she modest? I'm the answer to one of the questions in Trivial Pursuit. For who's the most cute? Cute, cute. Oh, baby, she's cute, cute, cute. I'm cute and I'm sweet and innocent, neat and so trusting. If you want our opinion, the song is becoming disgusting. I'm cute. So what? I'm never in vain. She's becoming a pain in the butt. I'm also real nice. I'm a doll through and through. So big whoop-de-doo. I'm sweet and adoring and also real boring. And that's why we're snoring at you. That's it. You've ruined my entire cute song. I am angry. I am furious. I am enraged. I have had it. You're awfully cute when you're angry. You really think so? She's cute. God, I miss classic Animaniacs.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff there.
We will come back to Fish Islands when I've had time to look it up, rehearse, do it proper.
Yeah. I've stuffed it over in the super chat overflow, so we'll get to it during a regular episode coming up soon.
Yeah.
So,
and any other super chats we have lingering.
Yes, of which there are many apparently.
Oh boy. Well, thank you to Jennifer R and Professor Wright for wrangling all the questions, not just tonight, but like all year. Big thank you to you, Kyle, for helping me navigate this show for so long and round out another year of the BumbleKast.
Well, thank you, Ian, because you are a great person and you are my friend and I appreciate you. And thank you.
And I'm cute. We just sang a whole song.
That's true. Yeah. Happy New Year to you, sir. Happy New Year
and
Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes. Thank you to everyone listening now, listening later, who have listened in the past, who will be listening in the future, because you guys have made this show an incredible success. It's not us. We're just babbling into microphones. You guys are the driving force behind the BumbleKast. It's really and truly true. So hope you guys have a lovely.
It's not me. I didn't do it.
Oh, and thanks to the Bumble crew.
God, totally yeah.
Thank you to the Bumble crew.
The Bumble team, yes, they are freaking outstanding. They've really come through in the clutch this year.
You know, helping us manage the show as it grows way bigger than we thought. Thanks for managing the Discord, for managing the social media. You guys are the reason why this show continues to function in anything approaching professionalism.
Yes.
So your efforts are greatly appreciated.
Yes. Jen, Rai, Kazi, Noni, Puppy, Thievius, and JR.
Apparently I'm supposed to say Happy New Year.
And
Aaliyah. And people are demanding that Aaliyah comes in for a surprise cameo here at the 11th hour to say Happy New Year. Take it away, hon.
I just did.
Say it again.
Happy New Year.
Say it harder.
And there you go.
That's it. Thanks, everybody. So much.
Farewell, 2023. And everybody, as we go hurling forwards into 2024 without any control at all.
Go careening into 2024.
Be good to yourselves. And please be good to each other. and we'll see what 2024 dishes out. Night, everybody.
Good night, folks. See you in the next BumbleKast. See you next year. Except maybe it'll be this year when you're listening to this. I don't know. Anyway, bye.